maybe to operate this Tableau. So when you open the Tableau, this is what you'll be seeing in the first pane or the first page. So what you can see at the middle where we have the open, these are some charts that I have created. Chart that I've created, they'll be visible here. So if it is the first time that I'm opening this one will be empty. I'll just be seeing like open. It will just be empty. Then we have the first pane on the left, or the first part on the left part where we have the file at the top. So anytime you open any software or any application, will be the first thing you'll be getting is the file. So under the file is where you can get some information like new, open, hide, paste, and any other links that might be related to maybe any data that I have imported in or opened in Tableau. Then we have data. Then we have server where I can sign in, or for example, when you create a dashboard, you'll be required to maybe publish this dashboard to public or to people who maybe want to see your work, something like that. Maybe you want to create a portfolio. So you have to create a dashboard and then you publish that dashboard. Then you have help if you need any assistance. So apart from this one, we also have something which we call it the Tableau symbols or icons. You can see them here, which appear like the multiplications and like a star, this one. So when I click on that one, they'll take me now to the second pane of Tableau, where I'm now supposed to perform the analysis, the visualization, the calculation, such kind of things. But if I want to go back to the first page, I just click on those symbols or icons again. So it will take me to the start page, something like this. Now, apart from that, we have the word connect. So below the connect, we have search data. For example, if we want to search any data, for example, a data that is mostly used is Superstore dataset. So if you want to learn like these data things or data visualization or something like that, Superstore dataset is one of which is available there in the internet. You can search for it in the Chrome Superstore dataset, and then you start practicing with it in Excel, Tableau, Power BI, all those softwares. Now, apart from that, we have Tableau server. For example, when I want to connect, I'm connecting to various data sources. So I want to connect data which is in my Tableau server. In this case, I can click here. Apart from that, I can connect data which is in my file or which is in my folders. So meaning this data will be present in my desktop. So if I want to connect to Microsoft Excel file, I just click Microsoft Excel and then it will take me to my desktop where I can pick that data and then the Tableau will open it. I also have text file, which are CSV file. We have JSON, Microsoft Excel Access. We have PDF. For example, you might be having a data which is in PDF form. So you want to extract that data from the PDF and then you perform some analysis and some visualization from there, or even you create a dashboard from that data. So you can do it in Tableau solely. We're also talking about spatial files. These are those like latitude and longitude data, data related to geographic locations, something like that, statistical files, and even more. There are many, there are more than like 100 data files that you can open in Tableau. We also have others like to a server. Like for example, what Molin was demonstrating, it was about MySQL. So wanted to store data in MySQL, you can see MySQL here. So it would be easier. For example, we had that database which Molin was creating about the jobs. Then we could connect that MySQL with Tableau. That's how things work. So you have database which contain data about maybe something like the data science jobs, and then we'll just connect with MySQL, and then you can perform, maybe you perform cleaning, those like aggregation functions in MySQL. After that, you can now connect MySQL with Tableau, and then you perform visualization, and then you create a dashboard in Tableau. And then after creating this dashboard in Tableau, you are able to share that dashboard with maybe professions, with maybe your managers, with your friends, to see maybe what is happening, depending on objective that you had. So you have type of servers like Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, Amazon Redshift. There are many. And then we have saved data sources, data sets that we can use. We have sample superstore data source. We have world indicators. You can now find there. So apart from that, if you want to learn more about Tableau, we have where we have Discover. These are on the right hand side. We have Discover. Then these are resources you can use. So if you are a beginner, so I'll just prefer after this session, you try to click this, you watch all these videos, you'll get like that beginner level, like to understand how you can use Tableau in this case. So apart from that, I want to proceed from where Molly left. So we were supposed to use that data related to data science job. I think it was something like that. So I'll import that data into Brew, and then we try to create just two visualizations, because I had two objectives that I was supposed to cover, and then Moline also had maybe like three objectives which he was supposed to cover in MySQL. So to connect the data the data is a CSV file. So maybe I can open that data first. So let me go back to my desktop. So this is the data. So I hope you can see my screen because I'm trying to navigate very fast. It is a data science analyst job. I'll open that data in my Excel to just have a view of that data. Just want us to see the data, the appearance, or maybe the columns or the variables, the variables present, then before importing the data to Tableau. Also, Molin, you can confirm if I'm still audible. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. So this is the data. As we're able to see, for example, if I want to see how many columns I have, just click here. We are a count of 11. We have 11 columns. So column number 1 is about work year. So maybe the year you got that job or position. Experience, we have experience. So in terms of experience, maybe I'll ask Maureen to explain more about in terms of experience. What does SE mean, M1, something like that. But I think these are senior, middle, beginner, something like that. Then we have employment type. We have full-time, and maybe we have full-time and what? Contract, yeah, full-time contract, something like that. Job title. So job title is where we have now a lot of jobs. Then salary, the amount of money. If you are a data analyst, you are earning what? If you are an AI engineer, you are earning what? If you are a researcher, engineer, something like that, how much are you earning? Then in USD, the currency. Then salary in USD, yeah, we have salary in USD, and then we just have salary only. So something else we have is employee. So maybe you are employee residence. Yeah, maybe you got this position and then your residence is maybe in Canada, US, California, something like that. Then remote ratio. So those who are working remotely. Then the company is based in maybe US, something like that, Canada, something like that. And I think what is clear here is that there is like a or a positive correlation between like the employee residence and the employee company. So if like there is high probability that if I'm from Kenya, there is high probability that I'll get job which are still in Kenya. So something like that, because what I'm able to see here, just what I'm able to view is like employee residents, they are in US and then they got job. The company is still in US, something like that. So there is that's a higher correlation. Then the company size, is it large, small, medium, something like that. So this is the data. So just understanding the data and try to figure out maybe what we can visualize at the end. So for example, in this case, maybe we might be interested to compare the salary by job title and also experience. We see how much you are earning according maybe to experience and then the job title like you hold, something like that. So let me cross this one. I just close it in Excel. And also don't forget you can still perform the same analysis in Excel. So, but now in this case, I just want us to perform it in Tableau, which is just simple because it is in Tableau, we say it is dragging and dropping. You are just dragging a certain column and then you drop it somewhere and then you get you do what Tableau will suggest you maybe the type of chart you'll be creating in that time. So because it is a CSV file, we use what we call now a text file, because I said data which is present in desktop or in our machine, we go to a file. So the data is already in my desktop. So I'll go to a file, but now I have to identify the data is a CSV. So it's to a text file. So I just click text file, just simple like that. Just click once, text file. Then I'll go to desktop where I have the data. I think it is somewhere here. So it is here, DSC salaries, and then I click open. It's just simple like that to connect your data to Tableau. Just simple, and then you just give it a few seconds to fetch or to load the data, and then we can start from there. So you can see the name, which is DSC salaries. Yep, data science salaries, something like that. Good. So this is the data. So we have the data. So something else that you have to notice, the first thing you need to do is to understand your data even before maybe before you start creating those charts or those visualization. So as you were able to see, we have 11 fields, which are 11 columns and almost 4,000 rows or observations. So the same things we were trying to figure out in Excel. Still here you can see them. So also in Tableau, we have data types. So maybe you can note somewhere we have allowed 6 data types that you are supposed to master, because if you'll be working with this data in Tableau and you might find that certain columns are misclassified. So in this case, when you try to create a certain chart, you'll not manage to create it because your data is not correctly classified, something like that. So you have to note and you figure first if your columns are correctly classified, something like that. So to clean the data in Tableau, you can use data interpolator. It is just here. You just click on it, and Tableau will clean your data. Or apart from that, you can use what we call calculated field. So calculated field is now like, if you know Power BI, we have what we call the DAX, those data expressions, something like that. So, but now in Tableau, we now use calculated field to perform those cleaning, something like that. So this is the data. You can see the cleaned with the data interpreter. We have cleaned our data with the data interpreter now. So our data is already clean, something like that. And then, for example, if I was working with this data and maybe I wanted to exclude like certain columns, in this case, we can use what we call filters. So on my light had at the top where we have filters, you can decide to add a filter in this case. So you filter this data, this mainly because you were interested to work with maybe the work year, the job title, the salary, and the experience, and then you exclude the others. So you can introduce those filters at the beginning level. So something else I would like you to take a note of is identify the difference between the live and the extract connection, something like that. So something else, I think all the others are okay. Now we need to go to now the working pane or the visualization pane where you are supposed to perform those visualization. We call it the worksheet. So you go to, at the bottom you can see on the left hand side, you can see go to the worksheet. So you just click here, sheet 1, you go to the worksheet, something like that. So when you click go to the worksheet, what you're able to see now, this is now the second pane where now you are supposed now to perform all those visualization, all those analyses. And I'll start with the top part where you have the names. These are like variables at the top where you have the file, the data, worksheet, dashboard, story, analysis, map, format, server, window, and help. And the most important one here is where we have the worksheet, the dashboard, and the story. Because the work of Tableau, you are supposed to create visualization in worksheets, and then you create a dashboard. So dashboard is now comprises of those multiple worksheets. So you'll start by creating worksheets with the different charts, and then you create a dashboard. Dashboard comprises now those many worksheets you have created, and then we can have a story. Story now is what you will use to do the presentation now. So the story will contain the chart and now some descriptions, like where you'll be writing or typing your insights in that case. So, but now at the moment, we'll just create worksheets. Now for dashboard and story will be maybe the next workshop or the next webinar that we'll be having. So we still have analysis, which is also important. So for example, if you want to create what we call a calculated field, or we want to create a calculated field is like a DAX where you perform some kind of mathematical calculation. We call it calculated field. So you create a calculated field, you go to analysis, and then you click calculated field, something like that. So apart from that, we have where we have the data, because the data is the one which is selected. So under the data, you can see those columns, the columns that we had, like company location, company size, employee residence, employment type, experience level, job title, salary, and then the work year, which should be a date. In this case, you can see Tableau is recognizing this one as a numeric value. Hash in Tableau represent what we call them the numerics, the numeric values. So in Tableau, we have two type of maybe categorization. As you can see where we have the table, we have certain columns which are maybe represented with blue, and then we have green, something like that. So you can see where we have even a line separating the two parts. So the top one, those are like what you call the categoricals or the characters. But now where you have the line bottom, we have numeric values. So we call them dimensions and the measure value, something like that. So in this case, because now what we want to do, we want to see, maybe we want to compare just the salary with the job title and also the experience level. So we want to see how much you are earning if you are a data analyst, how much you are earning if your experience is more than 2 years, something like that. So what we'll do in Tableau, we say it's just dragging and dropping, just simple, you drag and drop, just simple like that. So I'll start with something simple, which in this case is, I'll start by dragging. For example, I can start by dragging the job title to where we have the columns, just simple like that, because now I won't just want to see the job title under the columns. You can see, you just go to job title, you drag and you drop it to where you have the columns. So we have columns and the rows in this case. So you can see the appearance of columns, how they appears. And then I want to drag something else, which we are calling it the salary, because we want to see the job title and the amount of money you're earning in that position that you hold. So the same thing, you drag the salary and then you drop it to where you have the roles. And then in Tableau, let me maybe tell you something else. It doesn't matter. Like there is no formula. So you can drag the salary to columns and then the job title to roles. It all depends with you, like what you want your appearance to be, something like that. So what you're able to see, automatically Tableau will create for me, by default will create for me these bars. So something like this. But now it's very hard for me to identify who is earning more and who is earning less, because what we're able to see, like, we have so many roles in data science. So maybe I scroll to the right, something like that. Or if not that, I can do something here. We can do what we call the sorting, and yeah, maybe sorting. Yeah, either ascending or descending, something like that. So I don't know if I'm moving very fast, but or if there is any question, maybe, because I know this is, for most of you, it might be for the first time, but if there is no question, maybe I can proceed, because I'm also looking on time. Yep. Any question? Or I can just proceed.
Proceed, we are together.
Okay, good. So we have these job positions, and then we have now the bars representing or showing us the salary. So what we can do, we can sort them in order for us to identify who is earning more and who is earning less. So to sort, we use these icons. You see the icon below the server window under the help. We have the first one. This is for swapping rows and column. For example, I want to swap what we have on x-axis to be on y-axis, and what we have on the y-axis to be on x-axis. We use what we call the swap. So I can click on it. Let me click on swap rows and columns. And then you see the appearance. You see the appearance changes. This also applies to what I was saying. It doesn't matter whether you drag that column to rows or to columns, because at the end you can swap the rows or the columns, something like that. So the first thing we did is to swap rows and columns. The next thing will be to sort either in ascending or descending. So the first, then after that, those those charts for swapping and swapping rows and columns, we have now the next one is for sorting, which we're able to see this one, the second one. This is for sorting in ascending order. The last one is sorting in descending order. In this case, I'll select sorting in descending order, starting from the highest to the smallest. So I'll just click that. It's just simple like that. You see? Now we have something like that. So in this case, we're able to see the job title where you will earn a lot of money. In this case, the job title is data scientist. You see, the data scientist. But now this is the sum of salary. This guy is earning to the sum of salary allowed 200 maybe USD something, but I don't know if this is the correct thing because I was supposed to use salary in USD. So I think I need to select that. So in this case, what I need to do, I need to drop the salary. I select the salary in USD. So I'll go back to where I have the measure value. I just drag it and I drop it to where I have the columns to still appear the same thing. But now this is now in USD. You're able to see now when we take this in USD, the guy who is earning more is data engineer. You see, something like that. Allowed 148, yep, MUSD, something like that. But now we want to see, instead of seeing this in terms of sum, we want to see it in terms of average, like on average, who is earning more. So how can we calculate that? So where I dropped in the columns the sum salary in USD, I need to convert that into average. Instead of sum, we have now the average. How can we do that? So you just go to that column. You can go to where you have this. In that column where we dragged sum in USD, we have a drop down icon, this one. You just click on it. So when you click on it, you're able to see other other metrics that you can use to maybe to change something in that column. So where we have the measure sum, you take your cursor there, you'll be able to see what is selected, sum. So this is the sum, but now we want the average. You can also calculate the median, the county distinct, the maximum, the minimum, the percent, something like that. But in this case, I would just want the average. So I just select the average, and then everything will change. So when I select the average, you can see everything is changing. But now I also need to sort it again. So just click to sort in descending order. So now you see, on average, who is earning higher amount is data science tech lead. That's the person who is the guy who is earning a lot of money in USD. So now something else would like to see is now about the experience level in this case, because what we're able to see now is the job title and the average salary these guys are earning in USD. So we want to see now something else is what we are calling the experience level. How these guys, like the experience, maybe the data science tech lead, maybe what is maybe his or like experience, something like that. So just drag where you have the experience level. I can drag it to where we have the roles just after the tech the tech where we have. But apart from that, maybe we can play aloud with this one. Instead of dragging it there, we can drag this experience level to where we have the color. For example, we just want to see what if we drag this to where we have the color. We color, or we add color to this job title by experience. In this case, let me drag it there and see, because in Tableau there is no formula for this. There is no formula for this. You just do your thing as maybe you expect them to, maybe to appear something like this. So according to the experience level, this is what I was asking Moline, maybe because I didn't have the data dictionary for this. So I don't know what EN mean, EX, MI, but SE I can see this is a senior level, maybe this is a senior position.
Yes. Hello,
Middle,
hello.
yeah. Yep,
So for the experience level,
yep.
the ENT will represent the entry level.
Okay,
Then we
entry level.
have the EX for the experts, then we have the media senior level and the seniors.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, sir, I think that is great, Maureen. And then what we are able to see, and now want us maybe to see if this is making sense. So because what you are able to see, this guy who is like a principal data scientist, we can see where we have like this person is earning a lot of money is where we have experience level is expert. So we expect that to be like the normal thing. If you are an expert, your salary should also be higher, something like that. You can also see where you have the entry level, the senior level. We can also see the senior level. They're also earning higher amount. But where you have now the entry level, they're earning just small amount of money, 10,000 US dollars, something like that. So expert and the senior, they are the one who are earning a lot of money, then followed by middle, uh and then the entry level, something like that. I think now is this makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense, something like that. Maybe if we want to sort, we can sort with salary. For example, I can just go to where you have the average salary. We try to see if we say, for example, I want to see, in this case, for example, if I wanted to see in a certain age also, this is where now we talk of filters, for example. So you can filter your salary. For example, you want to see someone between 5,000 USD to 100 USD. You can just come here and then play with this selection bar, something like that. But in this case, I'm not interested with that in that. So maybe what I will be interested with is to see the top 10 job titles. For example, if I was looking forward maybe to a data science position or to any tech position that I would take in the next maybe 1 year, I can just come here and see, depending on maybe what we call the experience or the salary in this case. So you just go to where you have the job title, you just right click on it, you add filter. Filter, you can see something like this will appear. Now, general, it will appear like this, wildcard, where you'll now set your conditions. Then you also have conditions, but now I want just top. Just consider the top. I just want by field, you filter by field, then top, just top 10. This one is just the electric. Then you are filtering according to salary in USD, then the average of which is okay. And then I click apply, and then I click OK. You see, something like this. So this one will now display for me the top 10 job, the top 10 tech job that I'll be looking forward to. For example, you can see we have data science tech lead, cloud data architect, data lead, data analytic lead, principal data scientist, director of data science, principal data engineer, machine learning software engineer, data science manager, applied scientist. As we always expect this position to be like the one taking like the one you'll be earning more money, because now these one require a lot of experience, something like that. You can see mostly they are for senior at the expert level and also mid level. Apart from we have applied scientists, we have just a few one for entry level and also machine learning software engineer. You just have those two positions for entry level, but all the others they require experience, something like that. Something else maybe to maybe to perform some kind of fitting to this chart, to format the chart, I just go to the standard is where you perform the the formatting. Then I can maybe select entire view in order for me to fit that chart to the entire view of this pane or this worksheet. Apart from that, I would like to add some labels, and those labels will be, maybe we'll enter the salary in USD. So I'll go to the salary. So you see where you have the salary in the measure value, measure names. So we have this numeric, we have salary in USD. So what I'm supposed to do, because I want to add labels to this chart, I'll drag that salary into where we have the mark pane, then labels. So the mark pane is this one. So the mark pane is where you perform all those formatting. For example, color, the size, the label, details, and the tooltip. So for label is here. So I'll drag the salary and I drop it to where we have the labels. So when I drop that salary there, these bars will change in the appearance. Like you'll be seeing those figures the guy is earning inside the bars or at the end of the bar, depending, because I can format that. So when I drag and drop it there, now you are able to see the amount of money. If you are in this position, you are earning. But don't forget, there must be that, like you must go with, what do we call it? Like there must be, what do we call it now? Consistency. Yeah, something like that. Because at the top we use average, but here we are using sum. So you also have to format this to average to have that consistency, something like that. So I hope you're able to see now. We have, like, you can see this guy who is a principal data scientist, who is an expert. He's earning 416,000 US dollars, something like that. So something else maybe I would like to add to this in order for you to note is, like, when I take my cursor allowed these bars, we call it like I'm trying to hover allowed this bar, you're able to see some lightings like experience level EX, job title principal data scientist, the average salary is 416. Now I can format that. To format that, we format that under the tooltip. You go to tooltip and then you format that. So just go to this tooltip where you have the mark pen tooltip, you click on it. So when you click on it, you'll be able to see those wording that you're able to see when you hover allowed those bars. Experience level, you can see it's experience level, but I can format this one. So experience level, I would like to increase the size of this. Maybe I'll make it 18, not 18 really, maybe 15. But now the job title here, I'll make it 20. The job title, I make it 20, and then I change the color of the job title. I make it more darker, something like that. The average salary here, I make it around 24, and then I change the color. Maybe for this one I can use green, something like that, but I don't know if green is the best color for me, but I can choose green, and then I can change the font. Where you have Tableau book, you can change the font. For example, select this one. Job title, I can change the font. I select this one. Maybe experience level, I can change the position. Because this is just wording, I can just use something like light, something like that. And then after doing that, I can preview here. So where you have preview. So when I click preview, this is what I'll be seeing. Entry level, apply scientist, amount of earning is 10,000 USD dollars. And then if I'm okay with that, I click OK. So now the next time when I'll be hovering around my bars, I'll be able to see something different. You see, experience level, job title, principal data scientist, the other side, something like this. So this will help you when you'll be doing the presentation. It will make it easier for you maybe to see things easier. Something else, maybe we can do the last one, because I was supposed to create two charts in Tableau, but due to maybe time and how I have managed to explain this, we just create this first one. Then the next one, maybe we'll create time for it in the coming months or weeks. So something else I can add to be the last one is to add now what we call the filters. I add filters. I want to filter this job title uh, according to the location, depending on the location of this person. So maybe the location will be where? Company size, company location. Yeah, I think company location. So I go to where we have the dimensions. Just below the table, we have company location. So I just right click on company location. Yeah, it should be right clicking. Then I can say should be show filter. Let me just click show filter. So you see, just said right click and then you select show filters. So when I click show filters, under the filters, just above the mark pane, we have company location. So when you add company location, on the right hand side, you're able to see filters of company location. But I can change the alignment of these. You just go to this drop down icon, and then I want this to be a single value list. Just be like, I want to see just one, a single value list, something like this. So you see, when I select AE, like, there's no job title for AE people. So, but when I select all, you'll be able to see everything that was there. In this case, this is where we were saying, like, I want to see those jobs in US. If these jobs are major in US, so I'll just go to I select now US. Let me select US. So when I select US, you're able to see all those jobs are in US, and then you're able to see the major ones. So in US, the only job where you are able to enter the top 10 as an entry level is applied scientist. All the others require senior and expert, and also mid level. Apart from that, I can go to Canada. I think, is it Canada or California? The next one, which had many. I think this one, California. Let me select California and see. So in California company location, the top 10 position where you are going to earn a lot of money is director of data science at the machine learning software engineer. You see, and they all require expert or what we call the senior level, something like that. So these are things that you can create in Tableau. So this is just a worksheet. Just to imagine if we had like 5 worksheets with different objectives, and then after creating those 5 worksheets with different objectives, we create now a dashboard. And then the dashboard now is where, like, you can now create something which is what we call it, very what do you call it now? Maybe a dashboard where you can interact with it in this case. And also after that, you create a story. And then the story is now where you can add some kind of descriptions. And also in this worksheet, we can add what we call the captions. So to add a caption for in this worksheet, what you're supposed to do, I think we are supposed to go to, is it to the data, not to the data? Yeah, to the worksheet, because this is the first worksheet that I have opened. You go to the top part where we had the worksheet, and then where you see the caption or the summary, you can show the summary or the captions. So for example, when I select the caption. So at the bottom, you're able to see the caption. This will be generated to you automatically by Tableau because something like AI generated one. So Tableau is able to understand what you are looking for. For example, the caption here tells us that the average of salary in USD for each job title. This is what we created first. The color shows details about experience level. I think this one give you the, like, you are able to understand what I was creating. So the marks are labeled by the average salary in USD dollars. So the data is filtered on company location, which keeps 72 out of 72 members. So the view is filtered on job title, which keeps 10 out of 93 members. So this is just the caption. And also you can edit these captions, and then you can also put your own caption, depending on what you think or what you see as important. And this marks the end of my presentation. I'll give it back to Maureen to conclude and maybe to comment. Yeah.